Wombo combo. Hey, Reformulate. Hitting with the first and the resub. Thank you very much. And happy afternoon. I think we've already got a today command that's set up. Yep. And we have this stuff all written down. So where we left off was getting the battles to lay themselves out properly, which means centering their battlefields until the size shrinks to the point where we need to turn them into like 2x zoom or half zoom, I think. Hey, Linux Hacksaw. How was the break? I've got the answer to that inside a Discord message. I'm trying to keep it to just text instead of talking about it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is try to get the camera to stay centered. Which I guess means anytime we resize the window, we need a listener so that we can adjust the camera. Alternatively, we could just always try to keep it centered on one spot. There is the drag center thing here, but I think that alone is going to now position it so that there's like 3/4 blank space. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So either way, we're going to need to change the positioning. But I guess it makes more sense to change the positioning once than to do it all the time. So somewhere here we change the camera. Camera position equals vector 2.0. Yeah, we need to set this to... Oh, wait a second. The halfway point's going to change though, isn't it? Yeah. Seth Alton. Thank you for resubscribing. And thank you for the many E-filled resub message. All right, well, we had the size of this somewhere. I don't know where, though. Oh, wait. We had a tween here. This tween should know. This. Stage width in tiles times current stage. Yeah, this. So I want a new vector 2 with this divided by 2 and then like 288 divided by 2. Let's try that. Be cool if that just worked. I think it might, but I'm not positive. I think the x coordinate is correct. Yeah, but I think the rest of this is messed up. Why is this messed up? 288 divided by 2. Oh, I don't know. I do not know. But what's happening is that it's too high up. Yeah, okay. Well, then let's just take a look at the instance itself. How large is this in tiles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. And 9 times 16 divided by 2. So 72. So I guess it should be set to 72. Oh, whoops. Darn it. I didn't mean to keep the visibility of that set. It doesn't really matter. But what did I change? Probably this. Yeah. Okay, let's try that out. Okay, sort of good. We want to center on that tile. And I must not have done that correctly. We've centered too far to the side, I guess. So if we want to center right there, how many tiles over is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 11. 11 tiles over. What is the stage width? 24. Ah, because there's some padding in between these. All right, well, let's just set this to 11 then. I don't know. I don't even need to divide it by 2 here. I know these are magic numbers. I need to fix that. I just want to make sure this stuff even works. Cool. So now it should get centered. Not quite. It's one tile too far to the right? How is that possible? So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, yeah, that's why. Okay, so now this should look good. Or as good as it can look without having to change the zoom level. So when you're at roughly like this amount, you can still see all of the battles. So whatever the size of this window is the minimum size we can get to. Can we copy this? How do you copy this? Man. What? All right, fine. You can't copy to the clipboard. So 2884, I want it in points, I guess. So 1442. And what was the size we wanted to support? Where'd that Steam page go? Steam common monitor resolutions. Here it is. Okay, so most common 1920, totally fine. Next common 2560, totally fine. Next most common looks like it's maybe this one. 1366. What do we have again? 1442. I'm very torn. So this is the regular size we had designed the game at. And at this point, you can see every part of the instance we wanted to show you. So in a battle, you can see the enemy characters, the player characters, everything's good. If we shrink this to this size, you can still see all the enemy characters and the player characters, but now some of the text gets cut off. So I guess really technically the minimum size is like this. And if you go smaller than this, we need to start scaling things or positioning things differently or hiding some of the battles. So yeah, I guess this is really the smallest size that we have. 1671. Problem is the only zoom level we have lower than this would divide everything by 2 at about 1671 pixels wide. We need to shrink the battles. Shrinking them should be doable. I'm not looking forward to this. Yeah, we need to change the zoom on the instance slot. So Godot signal for window size changing. Size changed signal from the root viewport. You shouldn't center or scale your HUD manually when the window size changes. Instead, use the 2D stretch mode, expand, stretch aspecting, and bigger UI anchors. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So we want to connect to the root on viewport size changed. And that's what the instance is going to care about. Get tree.root.on view what? Oh, size changed? Ah. Plus equal window size changed. Yeah. Now generate that. Where do we get the size of this? We need to get it from the root viewport. Get tree.root size. There is no, oh, there it is, size. Okay, yeah, let's just print that out. Because I'm not sure if that's going to be correct. It probably is. We'll just try it and see. And I wonder if it gets hit immediately. Well, we don't have an instance, so it won't get hit immediately. But when I click this, yeah, okay. So now we're going to try scaling this. Interesting. It's in points, not in pixels. But it is getting hit properly, at least. So can we get the DPI? Because I guess this must be in a high DPI mode. Godot get DPI. Get current resolution. How do you get this? Huh. I don't know where you get this property from. I need to know that there's like a 2x zoom going on. Maybe it's the stretch factor. There's some way to get that at least. Because I think it's set to 2 right now somewhere. Yeah, scale is set to 2. Trying to read this. Multiplies final scale factor determined by display window stretch mode. All right, how do we get this? Godot get stretch factor. Is this the thing I wanted to change? Yes, it is. Content scale factor. All right, how do we get that? Get window? Content scale factor. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, so can we just divide this by that? Operator slash can be applied to a vector 2i and a float. That's fine. We can just do it manually then. So size is an int. Int width equals, well, vector 2i size equals that. Size dot x divided by this. And we just need to make this an int. Math dot floor, which I guess still needs to know that it's an int. We could just say it's a float. It doesn't really matter. Hey, Grace. It's going well. Got my vacation response there. But yeah, I think things are going pretty well now. I'm finally tackling something that I've been meaning to tackle for a while. And I'll show you in just a sec. With height. Okay, there. Yeah, so there was a problem with checkpoint number 2 of resolution being just borked. And now we have it so that you can just have the game play at any size. You'll just see more or less of the world. And what we're trying to do is get the battle windows to follow suit here. Nice. Okay, so now what we want to do is when you get to too low of a window size, that we're going to shrink the size of this thing. So if width is less than 1600, let's just say 1700, then we're going to say camera zoom equals vector 2.1. Otherwise, the camera zoom is going to be set to 2.2. Okay, let's try that. This is going to mess up everything. All right, so we have 3 instances. We're going to shrink the window now. And when it gets to be below a certain size, the camera changes. Yeah. Okay, that actually did work. Now the problem is we also need to shrink the... Wait, how is this going to work? Oh, no. I didn't account for things being too big. So if I expand the window... Oh, you can't even do that? If I expand the window beyond... Yeah. All right, this is the issue. Wait, there are a couple of issues here. No, there's no couple of issues. There's just the one issue, which is that we need to cap the size of battles. So we need to set a maximum size. And there is no way to set a maximum size. We have this that I wrote here though. Make a sub viewport container with a viewport underneath it. Set minimum size of the sub viewport container. Oh, man. This is crazy. Yeah, but if I don't do this, then there's no way to handle this thing getting to be too small. Although I wonder, is it worth even trying to tackle the problem this way? Because when this is super small, like, I guess it's still visible. If you're on a tiny screen, yeah, maybe this would be okay. The weird thing is, though, that the text is pretty blurry at that amount. Hey, G, Eli, I'm doing well. And yeah, it is definitely easier on the web. Is there any way to get these numbers to look good at this size? We've scaled the whole game up by 2. Okay, hang on. Let's try something here. Let's set the scale back to 1 and just see what happens. All right, so yeah, now all the text is really hard to read. We create instances, and that all looks crisp. And then we shrink the window. And now they get to really tiny battle screens. Is this like the original? Oh, wow. You can see the, there's some artifacts here around the bat flapping its wings. Hey, Darkstorm. Yeah, I think this is the original size of the sprites. Like these are 16 by 20, which is obviously really tiny. So I think shrinking them any further than that is bad. What I don't understand though is, no, this is smaller than 16 by 20. What am I talking about? If I take a picture of this and just draw a rectangle, wait, how do you, I guess that is how you draw a rectangle, but I don't want to draw a rectangle. I just want to select this. Yeah, this is like 8 by 10 basically. I know I didn't fully select it properly, and I know there's a pixel that's kind of missing from this particular frame, but yeah, roughly 8 by 10, which is half the size. How is it half the size? Something must, what could even be doing that actually? I don't understand. I set it to a zoom of 1. So how would it render it half the size? Something somewhere in here. This just goes up to the town scene. There is no other viewport for this. Because the viewport itself could have some stretching applied to it, but that can't be the case right now. Stretch shrink is set to 1. What is this? No, I don't have that set. What would do this? I was the first. Crows, thanks for being the first. Thanks to the resub. First person to resub. Can you search for 0.5 and filter by TSCN? I can, yes. Anchors, anchor, offset, anchor, size, scale of slash.cs. Yeah. No, I don't see anything here. What would be doing this? There must be something setting the zoom to 0.5. How about this? Let's go try. Let's load this up in here and see if somehow I've messed this up. These characters are the right size, right? If I zoom in on you and I 21 by 30. What? Something's wrong. Skeleton is taller. They are. Because I don't remember. Hip Hop, welcome back. Thank you too for the resub. I feel like there are tons of resubs coming back from a vacation. No, the skeleton's the same size, 20 pixels. So yeah, why am I, when I take a picture of this, why is this not the right? Okay, hold on. Let's just take a picture of the sign. It says 55 by 54. It's not affected by zooming in, right? I don't think so. No, yeah, it's not. Okay, so why are you not the size I expect you to be? You're also not a multiple of it even. Well, maybe you're 3 times the size. What would be doing that? What is my resolution set to? Set to 1080p. And it doesn't have to do with window size, because the window size should not affect the characters. And it doesn't look like it did. I don't even know why I had to do this. Yeah, it's the same. Can you show me the size of a single pixel? 3 by 3. Why though? That's a good idea. 3 by 3. What? Then it's zoomed 3. Oh, maybe the camera zoomed in. Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, the camera's probably zoomed in. I don't know what we start the camera at. Ah, yes, we start the camera at a zoom of 3. No, that makes perfect sense then. All right, so I just need to zoom out. So this is now zoomed out all the way, which means that now any of the characters should be the exact sizes that I expect, right? Yes, now we need to set this to points though. Wait, no, that's not correct. Ah, darn it, I have no idea what's going on. 14 by 16. What? 1 pixel though is 1 pixel, right? Yes. I do give points, yes. 14 by 16. Yeah, they're supposed to be 16 by 20. Oh, maybe the character, maybe this is fine. Maybe it's just that particular frame doesn't use all the pixels it could use. It's going up. So we just need to look at the going up frame. Yeah. I don't know which one exactly it is, but let's just look at this one. 14 by 17. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We had 14 by 16, but it was the one where, let's see, there's more black on the bottom right, which is this one. 17 pixels, and this said it was 17 pixels. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So this is with it at exactly a 1x scale, which I don't think anyone would ever want to play the game like this. This is like, you just can't even see anything, which is why I set the scale to 2 to begin with. But if I repeat this battle over here, what size are you? This is pixel. It's twice the size. It's twice the size because the camera zoom is 2. So now if I zoom like this and repeat this, yeah. 1x scale ideal for speed running. Yeah, probably. I'm not gonna allow people to look at that scale though. All right. So this is a 1x. It's just, like I said, practically impossible to see. And we don't need to care about that because we're always going to have it scaled to at least 2. Okay, so now things are visible again. Great. Create an instance. This all looks fine. And then when we shrink this, maybe we allow you to have a player controlled camera again inside the instance. And that way you could zoom in on this yourself and get to a size you're happy with. Because the other thing I could do is I could just make this scale up automatically. It would look worse. Yeah, because I'm concerned that at this size, you're not going to be able to tell what's going on to the point where it's kind of just worthless. Can you read the text? I guess you can. Turn on auto battle. I don't like it. I don't feel like the text is very clear. I'll take a picture next time I see some text pop up. Waiting for mental swiftness. I'll just get stealth, I guess. Okay. Yeah, it's like that's just clearly not visible text. Maybe what we would need to do is just change the outline size of the font when we're at that scale. But I don't think I'm happy about this. Hey, Ben, on YouTube. I only missed your message by 7 minutes. Sorry about that. Not sure I like zooming out on the battles. So alternatives, we could just not show all the battles if we don't have space. E.g. we use tabs or a scrollable area. Show a small portion of the screen with pixel art games anyway. Yeah. Could let the player zoom in and out. Well, we could let the player pan the camera. Actually, that's not such a bad idea, right? So basically we go into this code that we had here. We get rid of the zoom changing code. Use pagination. Page 1 of battle. You did 3 damage. Yeah, so we could do something like this where I guess this looks like kind of a mess, but then you'd be able to pan this however you want. But I guess the problem is you're not able to see the whole battle play out, so there is no panning you're happy with. But I guess you could also zoom it. How easy would it have been to code Botland and Godot? Games are really two things at a high level. There's the game logic, or like the game rendering, and then there's UI. And the way I look at it is that in a game engine, the game rendering is easy and the UI is hard. And in HTML, I feel like it's the game rendering is hard and the UI is easy. So the game stuff would have been way better to do in a game engine, but then the UI would have been significantly harder. And Botland had a whole lot of UI. Dynamically shrink the space between fighters and monsters. It's not really important that the battle is that same aspect ratio anyway. It's a possibility. I feel uneasy about that for a couple reasons. For one, every instance would need multiple views to figure out, like, do we have enough space to render this middle bit or not? Yeah, using HTML for UI and game engines would be pretty nice. There's also the problem we're going to hit when you go beyond the size of this thing. Hey, Orange. I'm glad you had fun. Not sure how I'd go with characters being closer with all the text being spawned. Yeah, that too. That's another consideration. The font is really small and hard to read. Oh man, not showing all the battles if we don't have space. Let the player pan the camera. I guess the problem here is that there's no perfect view. Yeah. Let the player pan and zoom the camera. What else can we do? We could, okay, there's another thing we could do here. We could shrink the size of an instance slightly and then just not let the game window get smaller than that size. Like we have, okay, here's what I mean. We have a couple of tiles in the middle here, and these tiles in the middle are not important. We could make it one tile in the middle instead of two. So now we save 16 pixels times 3 because we have 3 battles, so 48 pixels. And then these edge tiles aren't super important. The problem is we don't want the text to go outside of the instance right now, which would then cause it to get cut off. Hey again, Hideo. How was your boring meeting? We have enough classes for 3 battles later on anyway. And we can go with 2 battles at most, if not. Yeah, that would be another thing. Oh, that's a pretty big change. Could only allow for 2 battles at most instead of 3. So originally the plan was maybe like 4 characters or 4 player characters per battle and 3 battles at a time. So that would be 12 characters needed to max out. And I was planning on having like 15 characters total. I think I like the idea of 3 battles. Oh, I don't know. I'm just so torn. So torn on all of this. Let me get rid of that zoom code again. Oh, it's already gone. I guess I just have an old version of the game opened up. Could you stack them vertically? Yeah, I could stack them vertically. You're still in the same meeting, Hideo, as the morning? Well, morning for me. Oh my god, that's terrible. No wonder you're in the stream. So if we had this view, is the text getting cut off over here? I don't actually know. It probably is. I think these all need to be in our viewports, right? Yeah, it's definitely getting cut off. Because I was gonna say we could just spawn the text on a different layer altogether, and that way the text would still be visible. But yeah, vertically stacking the battles, maybe we try that. All right, well, vertically stacking the battles should, in theory, be pretty easy. Is there a container that lets you change the direction? Oh yeah, just box container. Okay, so if we change the instances view, I guess we need to anchor it differently too. But if we change this to a box container, and then change this, that's already fine. All right, now we just make it vertical instead. It's going to be in the wrong spot. So maybe this looks terrible or goes off the screen or something, but let's try it out. Yeah. So now we just need to cap its size in both directions. 24 times 16, I think 384 pixels is what we want. I don't want bottom wide. I want right wide. And what was the number I said? 384. Let's try that. That clearly wasn't enough. What did I do wrong? 24. What did I multiply? 24 times 16. Times 2 because of the zoom? Times 2 because of the zoom, yeah. So 768. Okay, let's try that out. What am I doing? Okay, first of all, it's not 24 that I'm multiplying, because the actual number of tiles, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, to get to like the edge of the battle. Do I have a picture of what we used to show on this? Where's Skeleseller? This. Yeah, I do. Okay, so the lamp post could still show. So we would show this much then. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So 20 tiles. 20 times 16 times 2, 640. And we put that over here, 640. Yeah. And then we don't need to take up all this vertical space, but I'll worry about that in a sec. So is that good? do we actually like this? Because I'm not sure. Because now if the screen is like this size, then you have very little to see the town. And the town was laid out specifically horizontally so that you could see. Keep in mind they need to basically be 1920 divided by 3 divided by 32. $20 tiles wide at max. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't think I'm happy with this. Is the gray going to disappear? Yeah, the gray wouldn't be there. I would probably just make this whole thing take up less space. So imagine taking the gray out and then just having the map be visible here. I don't think that would look good though. Alternatively, we could just add in some tiles to make it take up more of the space. Yeah, I think shrinking the battle is a better idea. Let's just delete all those changes I did. It's not undoing them. Also now it's starting to undo these things. Oh my God. Okay, well, that's a mess. Let's change this back manually then. Oh, before I do this though, let's take a picture of the game. Yeah, so repeat. Wait, this is not the version. Oh my God. Let's try this again. I just want to get a picture in case I ever want to look at this again in the future. Yeah, whatever is good enough. I'll just take a picture of it. Save. And let's copy that into here. So I don't need to go hunting for it on my hard drive. Targeting radically different screen sizes, you need a different layout to suit the different screen sizes. Yeah, I'm not targeting radically different screen sizes. What I wanted to accommodate was, where is it? I think I want to accommodate this as the minimum screen size. Which, by the way, what's the aspect ratio of this? 1920 divided by 1080. Okay, they're basically the same. Yeah. But given that only like 4% of people will even have this screen size, I'm not super concerned. I guess we need to consider that yeah, this won't be a concern for a lot of people. If, what is the number? 1366 is the minimum width we allow. And it's only for like 3.5% of the player base. Then we just need this to be good enough for those people. We need some framing. Yes, framing, I agree. I think the bigger thing I'm concerned with right now is just how do we get the battles to still communicate what they need to communicate at a screen size of like whatever this is. That's not what I meant to do. This is, yeah, like roughly maybe here. And I think we have enough space on the screen to do this, so we just need to get this working. Honestly, a scrollable section might not be so bad. Maybe let's try that out next. So we're going to change this back to just be regular like that. We're going to make it take up the bottom of the screen. Bottom wide. We set the minimum size to 288. We hit the play button. Okay, so this, perfect, love it. Then, once you get to be smaller than this, if we had a scrollable area for that. So let's add in a new scroll container. Put this up here. Put this inside of that. Horizontal scroll, auto, vertical disabled. Make this take up the bottom. Give it a size of 288. I don't know if that's just going to work. No. Oh, because this doesn't know to take up more space. All right, we can do that. We just need to figure out what this is supposed to be set to, which I think is that number I had in a buffer over here somewhere. Nope, not anymore. All right, what was it? 20 tiles times 16 times 2, 640. Yeah, I think that's what we want to set this to. Instance slot has a minimum size of 640. So now if it can't shrink beneath that, then the scroll thing is going to come into effect. Yeah. So is that better or worse? Because I think it's probably worse. Yeah, I think it's worse. I can't imagine having to bounce back and forth between these things. Allow the player to scroll between battles. I mean, I'll take a picture of this too. And we'll put this in here. And this will just become a dumping ground for pictures. So what was this one? This is vertically stacking battles. This is allowing a scroll container. So the problem is that the town is laid out for horizontal space. This becomes a bit awkward. It would probably be great on an ultra wide monitor though. All right, allowing a scroll container. Problem with this is it's just not easy to scroll between battles to see the information, to see stats / loot / changes. I'll just say / buttons. Yeah. Battles into a tabbed container. All right, what if we just shrank the battle window? So we get rid of the minimum size on this. Well, not that one. We go back over to here and we delete the scroll container. Done. Then what? Then we need to change the tile maps in here. How much space can we possibly remove? Like 48 pixels. What does that give us? Because yeah, I think the zooming is out. All right, first of all, I need to figure out what is 1366. Smaller than that by about 200 pixels. It's smaller than that by 20 pixels. All right, pretty close. 1370 is what we're at right now. And we can easily see 2 battles. What happened to the third one? It's there, it just doesn't show. Doesn't that mean that I just broke something? Ah, yes, it does mean that I broke something. There, that should fix that. All right, so it was roughly here is about 1366. And if we just had the battles playing out, I think this can work if we get rid of one tile in the middle. You only stack it vertically with the non-widescreen ratios, and make it able to collapse when you need to focus on the village. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, you could just minimize the battle section. I didn't think about that. Remove the third row and make max 6 monsters since we don't have any balance yet. I like the idea of having battles of this size though, at least. Could make it so that you could minimize the battles altogether when you need to see the town. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I think that could potentially work. It does mean that if you're playing on a laptop or something where it's like you just literally, you can't have the resolution you need, that I guess you'd be managing opening and closing that battle screen though. Wonder about maximizing a battle you hover over. I mean, okay, here's one of the considerations, which is even according to this Steam survey, which I'll just take a picture of this and then that way I can zoom in. So even according to this, and I don't know why there's no, is there a way to sort this? No, unfortunately. Well, anyway, the important thing is 1920 by 1080 is the majority of users, and then 2560 by 1440 is the next biggest one. And that those two alone account for 77% of the players for all Steam games. So those are both wide enough resolutions where you could see 3 battles and there's no problem. We're really just trying to accommodate the players in this section, which is maybe, what, 6%? Or 7% maybe? Which is not a lot. And in those cases, if those 7% of the player base has to minimize battles to see them, is that a problem? Add a keybind to toggle the visibility and we're good. Yeah, well, the other thing I'm thinking is we could combine a couple of different things. Like, what if it was a small zoom value until you hovered over it, and then it turned into a bigger zoom value? But is this really such a problem if we just cut out one of these tiles? Battles into a new window. I think that would be super cool. I know it wouldn't be good UI, but it would be kind of fun. It reminds me of, what is it? Kirby Superstar, the RPG thing that was there. Is this going to find what I was thinking of? Yeah, like this. The characters had their own windows in the game. Well, in this one part of the game. What is this, a website? Yeah. That's why there's a cat foot in the message, but it would be kind of cool. Okay, so what if we just cut out one tile? And I'm just going to butcher this for right now. How do we butcher this? I want to select all of this. What is going on? Oh, darn it. Okay, wait, I'm very confused. There are only 2 tile maps. Which one is the floor? Must be... What am I doing? What is just the grass on here? Not that one. Yeah, it's this one. But why am I not selecting grass then when I'm clicking this? Oh, it just gets darker? Maybe that's what was going on the whole time. All right, well, anyway, whatever. Just select all of this and then paste it one tile over there. I know this looks broken. I don't really care right now. Now we're going to delete the original graphics that we had. That did not work. What is so messed up? Okay, I'm confused. When I use the picker tool, it's still selecting like a whole bunch of stuff. How do I get it to just select one tile? I don't know, and I don't care anymore, and we're just going to overwrite this thing. All right, I am super confused. Now I understand. This has 4 layers. I thought these were tile map layers, which can only have 1 layer, but they are not. There is an actual floor tile. Okay, I'm just a dummy. All right, well, let's delete this. I think we're pretty good. Hey, Xio. Yeah, thanks for ruining my work. I definitely have ruined your work. Let's also delete that one. Then we probably have a bench somewhere. Yeah, delete that. Okay, what does this look like now? Oh, a little messed up over there. But if we just ignore that. All right, so now we need to position enemies in a different spot. Where do we do that? Create enemy battlers. Where do we set its position? Oh, here it is. Position battler in first empty slot. All right, we set this to 7. That definitely shouldn't be there hidden in the middle of the code, but yeah. All right, so now we start 3 battles. Yeah, still looks pretty good. And now when we shrink the window, oh, now we need to center on a different position though. Is this what has the centering code? Yeah. Oh. Something's wrong. Why isn't this evenly spaced? I want to subtract more than 1. No, not more than 1. Less than 1? Cannot convert double the float. What is this? Yeah, I only removed one tile, so I only want to change the camera by half a tile. Yeah, there. Okay, what size is this window? 1452. I guess we still need to shrink it by like 80 pixels. It kind of works, but not really. And without the padding on the side, you can't see the text effects. Let's restart these battles. Guess I could speed this up a little bit. Yeah, like the words mental swiftness get covered up. Oh, even at a full window size, how does that look? Oh, I guess it looks fine because you've got like 4 extra tiles over there. Like I said, we could just make the text show up above all of the other instances. It wouldn't really be a problem. I don't know. Yeah. I can't think of what would be best to do here. Okay, let me at least seriously consider this idea of only allowing 2 battles at a time. For one, I know this is a dumb idea to change the entire game design because of a UI constraint for like 7% of the player base. But like I said, I want to at least seriously consider it. So you would still always have something happening. You would probably need fewer characters at the end of the game. Could have more characters per battle if we did this. Need to draw new layers anyway because it's a mess right now. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what is the best solution for this. We could show battles in tabs and only have one visible at a time. Actually, would it be so bad if... Okay, what about this? You've got 3 battles visible if you have the space for it. If you don't, then we show 2, and there's a way to tab between the second and the third one, I guess. Tabs would only be needed if you don't have the screen width, and we would only need 2 battles, or only need to hide 1 battle. Yeah, right? Because I gotta undo everything I just did now. I don't even know how to easily do that, because if I Command Z, it's gonna... Oh no, that worked. Okay. Thought I was gonna delete some other stuff. And then I gotta go change the values that I changed. So this goes back to 8, and the instance goes back to 10. Okay, so this is gonna be what we had originally, right? I start 3 battles and we have, yeah, proper view and everything. Okay, so what if as soon as you cut out, you shrink this down like beyond this amount even. What is this amount? Yeah, like less than 1800. Then we just hide the 3rd battle altogether. Yeah. Yeah, carousel UI, something like that. So then the issue would be that this is the problem with hiding any battle. The issue is that you might not realize that it's hidden. Problem is that the player may not realize that there even is a 3rd battle. And they may not know the results are. Show a portion of it with semi-transparent arrow on top of it. Yeah, that's true. That's probably worth giving it a shot. And again, this won't be for that much of the player base. Hey, Ski. Is there no way you can make these battles be a percent width instead of an explicit width? I don't know if that's a thing you can do in Godot. You can do that in Godot. The problem is that the battles have... Let me show you this. Yeah. So this is how much of a battle shows right now. This is 20 tiles. And the characters obviously go like here and here. And then, you know, more characters fill in the rest of the spaces. So the problem is you need enough space to show the up to 9 characters on each side. You need a little bit of padding on each side so that text doesn't go off into the void. So if I were to, and you can't scale battles down because then the pixel art will be blurred or like jagged or something like that. Because that's another solution that would have been dead simple. If this weren't all pixel art, I could have just been like, oh, well, just scale it down by, you know, 10% or something. We could technically do it. It would just look ugly. Yeah, it could cycle on a frequency. Yeah. Yeah, the carousel thing might not be a bad idea. Let me see. What do we have right now? We did 1920 divided by 3. That's 640 pixels per battle. So 640 times 2 is 1280. We said 1366. So you'd have 86 pixels of another battle that you could see. And we could potentially shrink it a tiny bit more. I think this could potentially work. The other thing we got to accommodate is when you have too much space, because I don't want to show the entire instance map. All right, so how do we even get this to work then, if this is what I'm going to do? The instance slots are inside of this container. I mean, we need a custom view into this thing because you have battle 1, battle 2, battle 3, and at any given time you have like a screen size here. So it might look something like this. And then it might just get cut off at some point. So you can't see, well, I guess it can't be exactly this. It's got to be a little bit more. So you can see a tiny bit of battle 3, something like that. So right now we have this all inside of an HBox container. And what we need to do is have some way of when you click the button that it rearranges. Wait, I'm debating as I talk about this. You might want to see, no, this would work. Yeah. Yeah. So it had to be on some kind of like rearranging container. Yeah, I don't think that would be too bad. Do you technically need to show all 9 heroes and enemies, or could you bring the sides in and only show 3 heroes and 3 enemies just when your resolution is scaled down? Yeah, I think you would need to see every part of a battle. Yeah. There's some concept of overflow scroll. Yes, there is. You can, I actually already did this to test this out. So I think this is what you're talking about. Whoa, what? Oh, because I never saved the issue? What? Why can't I open this? That's weird. Can I open it now? There we go. Yeah, so here we have a scroll bar at the bottom. It's kind of hard to see. And you can see that the battles aren't all visible. That was really awkward because you just had to constantly be scrolling between the battles to see the results. Image token expires. I see. Oh, interesting. So they don't just host everything on GitHub? Huh, clever. How to look if you move the enemies closer, like 2 tiles. I think 2 tiles would be too much because right now there's only a space of 2 tiles total between them. This and this. So we could only move them, I think, 1 tile closer. And I think that could be okay. I don't think we necessarily have to have more space than just that. And that would give us some extra. Okay, you know what? Maybe we end up doing that. I'll write that down. But I think we need to try the carousel idea. At least mock it up and see how it goes. Consider that we can easily remove 1 tile, 1 column per instance if we want to shrink the battles a bit. That would gain us 48 pixels total, which is not insignificant. I mean, we were talking about having like 80 pixels extra, so that would give us an extra 50% on top of that. So we're going to try a carousel view, but then the other thing I said that I haven't figured out an answer to yet is what happens when the window is, whoops, happens when the window is too big. So yeah, what do we do in that case? Why am I able to scroll? Oh, I see. We need to update the bounds of the camera when you, yeah. All right, another task we got to add for this thing. Update camera bounds when the window size changes. You can currently expand the window beyond 1920 by 1080 and see gray on the right side of the world. Hey, Palladir. My thought with the scroll was only if needed, so that it wouldn't be there for everyone, just for the 7% of players you were mentioning. Yeah, I guess, well, for one, it would certainly be an easy solution. I think the issue is that it's a frustrating experience for those 7% of players. I'm not sure if the carousel is going to be better, and if we make the carousel, we'd have to mock it up pretty quickly and not have it be polished at first. Yeah, what do we do when we get into this case? We need to cap how much the camera shows, I guess. But this could be even wider, right? Could be more if you're planning a tablet version. For a mobile or tablet version, I think we got to do some special code for this stuff. Because mobile specifically, I mean, you'd be looking at a window that's like this size. Maybe not like that, maybe more like that. And I don't think we can show battles on the screen at that point. I think it'd be quite a struggle. So we need to have some way of like hiding the battles entirely. Actually, for that, I think a carousel would make sense. And a minimize button. Hey, Caleb. Something like this, red box being the visible part. Yeah. I just, like I said, I think it's a struggle to use this for the players who do have this happen. Would probably be landscape too, I assume. Yeah, maybe. I didn't put too much thought into it, but yeah, it could be. And maybe you have like a battle view and that's where you end up seeing this stuff. That could be interesting. It's my favorite angled streamer. I'm doing well. I'm happy to be back. All right, so when this is too big, I think we just cap how much of the instance shows up. Maybe actually just cap the entire size of this. Can we do that easily? Is this in its own viewport? It is. Okay, so we could just set a maximum size and I think we'd be okay. Although I'm not sure how we even do that. Because it's inside of this right now and this knows to size such that, yeah, it's expand. I would want to set a maximum size on this. I wonder if we can do that. Let's try it. Can we just set our size equals new vector to 50 comma size dot x size dot y? This doesn't have a size. What is this? It's a node 2D. What is it really? It is a sub viewport container. Okay. Sub viewport container SVC equals sub viewport container this. All right, this is just a test to see, can I convert instance to this? Can I do this? Is there an as? There is, but it still can't convert it. All right, well, whatever. This is a sub viewport container, so let's just put this here for right now. All right, all I'm testing here is, can we set the size and have this actually work, or what happens here? Because yeah, I want there to be a maximum size for this. So if I create some instances right now, they'll be the regular size. What? Can't cast node 2D to instance? Where do we rely on this? Create instance. What? Oh, I changed the wrong thing. Oh my God. Yeah, of course. Whoops. Okay, well, whoops. Now I understand what I was doing wrong this whole time. All right, this code was supposed to go into instance slot, which we're just going to paste this in the middle of nowhere right now. Then this is a node 2D, that's still fine. And we need this thing here. Good. Put this up here. And we just need this last bit from ready. Okay. Max size would be easiest if it's possible, but there is no max size, unfortunately. Is this still not a thing we can do? Instance slot to this because it's a control, whatever. Sub viewport container. Actually, it should be able to convert this. Why is that not possible? What does this inherit from? It must inherit from control. Yeah, it does. Why can't you do that? Well, whatever. I'm going to delete this. I'm just testing this out for right now anyway. There. Okay, so create instances, they should have the proper size. Then as soon as I resize this, they should go down to 50 width. I am dragging Discord apparently. They did not go down to 50 width. I guess because the container's overriding their size. In fact, that makes sense. I shouldn't be able to change the size of this. Is there a way to limit then the size of this? Because this is inside of these. Hey, Magic Viper. Godot maximum size within container. Is it crazy to me this is only day 43? I don't know. I'm happy with the progress. I don't know if it's really good progress or just sort of mediocre. I guess we wouldn't have a container set the size of this thing then. Or we need something that has a maximum size. Instance slot is set to fill. What if we just set it to shrink begin then? Or shrink center? And not expand? What is custom? Oh, interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Oh, I don't know how you can even use all those different properties. Let's try this out. Okay, well now I created instances and they don't show up at all because they don't have a minimum size, I guess. Minimum size. 640. Wait a sec though, this won't actually work, right? Oh man. It'd be great if I ever knew what I was doing. Wait, what is happening? Oh, neat. They're not expanding now. Yeah. Oh, what am I doing? We don't even need a max size. We just need to not have the size increase, which now it doesn't. Okay. So this is what it would look like if you had a really, really large game window, is that eventually the battle windows would just stop showing and you'd have nothing on the end. So we probably want to center this or something. But that's easy enough to do because these can just say alignment center. There. Okay, so we can delete that size changing code from in here because this isn't needed. I'll just say to do delete me. I might want to keep this for now, but. All right, so now we start 3 battles, or do we even need to start 3? I guess we don't need 3. Although the placeholder is going to take up more of the space then, huh? We got to stop that from happening too. In fact, yeah, I'll just write it down for now. When the game window gets larger than 1920px, we can't have the placeholder, battle placeholder expand. But that's whatever. Let's just cancel that out from being an issue for right now. Yeah, so now this is what this looks like. Should be centered on the screen. Yeah, it is. Okay. All right, I like that. I think that is totally good. So now all we need to do is mock up that carousel thing. So that's what we're going to do post break. Mock up carousel quickly just to see if it's even desirable. It should cycle the battle windows as you click the arrow buttons. All right, I will be right back. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hi, hi, hi. Close the game. GG to everybody. I said close the game. Listen to me, computer. Okay, so the carousel thing. Let me think of how we're going to do this, because should we make this in its own like scene for right now? We have an HBox container, and I guess the simplest possible way of doing this is you click the left arrow and we just rearrange the children of this node. Hey, Punky Monkey, thank you. I'm looking forward to our special UX session, which I'm going to post about in the news channel probably tomorrow. I think it's going to be fun. We're actually working on a bunch of little UI problems today. The main thing that I've been working on has been the overall problem of the game resolution. So we had this in a 1920 by 1080 window, and the problem was that if you ever had a monitor that wasn't exactly that size, then you'd see, I don't actually remember what would happen. Either you'd see black bars, and the black bars could get pretty egregious, or the font would just look pretty blurry or something like that. So now I made it so that you can just resize the window and see more or less of the game, but obviously that has UI repercussions here. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get it so that when you have enough space for 3 battle windows, they all show. And when you don't, I'm going to try putting them into a carousel. And yeah, imagine if you had like a right arrow or a left arrow here, and you could sort of cycle which one is in front. The thing is, the best way to do this, I think, would be to animate this thing moving. And the way we would probably get that to work is by shifting the entire HBox container off the screen and then relocating the children within it. Insta fail? No, it's, you've got enough time in each game to kind of test things out, and that's how everyone ended up getting better. So yeah, don't worry about that. Okay, so let's go add in some code into here. All right, we're gonna put this into what exactly? Instances manager, I guess. Because this is what has all the slots. Yeah. So let's just paste this somewhere. It doesn't really matter where. Then just have the arrows be buttons that move the container. Yeah, that would probably be the easiest. But then the problem is you would still need to, like, the way that a carousel would traditionally work is you have elements A, B, C, D, and at any given point you have like a window of what you can see. So in this case, you can see these 3 things, and then these are like sort of partially visible. And when you move this window, it's a sliding thing. So now you can see this. And I think that's the important part, is like, since it's a circle, you are able to see different elements on the sides. And I want that to be the case, because the problem with the scroll bar way, if we don't move children around, is that you can either see A and B, or you can see B and C, but you can't ever see A and C. And anyway, I don't think this will take too long to do. So UI home, we're going to say carousel left, and UI end, we'll say carousel right. Now delete all these things. Okay, now private void carousel left and right. All right, what do we do for this? So you need to have at least 2 children in the instance slots. Get instance slots. Let me get the right type of this. Instance slots. Okay, so if instance slots.count is less than 2, then don't do anything. Just duplicate it. Yeah, that would change the scroll bar thing, I guess. What is going on? Remove a redundant jump. Oh, because I would have returned from the function anyway afterward. Yeah, I just haven't finished writing the code. Okay, so now get the first one of these things and the last one. Instance slot first equals this, instance slot last. Whoa, is that a thing in C#? Get last element of array? I did not know that was a thing. Or is it just making this up? With C#8, wow, it is possible. That's really cool. This is where AI really comes in handy. Yeah, neat. I mean, Python's had that since the beginning, but I don't think C# did. Well, I know C# didn't because of this. It says C#8 had it. Use the hat operator. Oh my God, I have never heard it called a hat. It's a caret. Okay. That is cute, yeah. Party Pikachu. It's often called hat in math. Oh, interesting. Did not know that. Also, hey, Skitter hat. All right, so we're going to take the first one and we're going to move it. Where does this stuff exist? It is just right in here. Yeah, okay. So remove child first and add child first. In fact, we don't even need the last thing here. And I'm just going to copy paste this into carousel right. But the way this is actually going to work is we're going to remove child actually, how do you reposition something? Godot set index or add child at index. I think it's move child. I don't think there is an add child with an argument. Yeah, move child. Yeah. So all we need to do is just get the last one and say move child last 0. Yeah. Oh, in fact, we could just do this too. Move child. Well, nah, sure. I'll shut out. It's just like the HOV thing. I'm gonna start saying HOV from now on and waste my syllables. So just scale down the 3 side-by-side battles to fit the width of the window till some minimum width. Yeah, but the problem is that that's what we're working on basically, is the minimum width part. Like, what do we do when you can't fit 3? And all the solutions I tried so far did not seem great. All right, so you press home. And is this working? I think so. Yeah, it's working. It's more obvious when the battles are finished, I guess. So now if you can't see them all, this is already pretty good. Yeah. Wow. Cool. Okay. So now the question is, do I like that as a solution? Obviously, we need some arrows on these, like a big right arrow and a left arrow, so that when you don't have enough space, you can easily do this without having to press home and end. I think you would expect to be able to like pan these though, which we could allow. Yeah. Why does it say cancel auto battle? Did I actually turn that on? I guess I did. I don't remember doing that. Any thoughts, chat? I'm just so torn on this. So again, when you have all of these visible, there just wouldn't be any carousel buttons you could press. But when you're taking up only, let's say, half the screen width, then you can see there's a battle over here. You can see there's a battle over here. And you'd have some giant arrow you'd click. And now you could go to that. I guess I did these backwards, didn't I? But whatever that would be. Is 3 the max? 3 is the max, yeah. Yeah, if width is less than 1920, show arrows and call it good. Yeah. And I guess if the width is like close to 1920, then I guess you could still see everything that's happening in a battle anyway. Yeah. If you can't fit all three, you scale them down to fit them all again. Yeah, so the problem is scaling pixel art. You can't cleanly scale pixel art unless you're doing it in like powers of 2. So for example, this, if I take this and scale it up to 2x, 4x, 6x, all of that will look great. Actually, not even powers of 2, sorry, just integer powers. So scaling down means that what we're really doing is we're taking this art and instead of rendering it like 4x, we're rendering it at 3x. But we can't render it something like 0.8x because then you don't get clean lines anymore. So if that weren't the case, if we had like 3D models or something for this stuff, yeah, we would just scale this down and call it a day and it'd be dead simple. Yeah, the carousel in full screen on smaller screens, I guess. I am not totally sure what you mean. I was thinking the carousel would be there whenever you just don't have the space to render all the battles. So whether you're in full screen or not, yeah, it would need to show because you need some way to go between the battles. In this case, I have enough screen real estate, but let's say I went over here and set this to 1280 by 720. Okay, so now the game clearly doesn't have enough space for it. So I would use this. Now what's interesting is, would you want this to be a scroll bar? I guess we could, I was gonna say, I guess we could make it be a scroll bar. Like you could just have the option. Maybe we just get feedback on this. Time to change the art. Wait, is it time to change the art? I don't think we need to change any art as a result of this, right? If you got a carousel, you could have upgrades that more than 3 in the late game too. You could, but there are really big game design implications of that. First of all, I can like hardly use my computer when it's this size. So let me set this back to normal. Right now, like I said, we had plans for 3 battles and we were thinking 4 player characters per battle. So that means that I want to design maybe like 15 characters total with the understanding that you have like 12 in battle at any time. Oh man, there's a lot of double typing going on. I don't know if that's me or the keyboard. So if you were to allow for 4 battles or 5 battles, let's say, then we probably need way more characters. And at that point, I think each battle starts mattering a little bit less. Like already, and it's kind of hard to show this because I just don't have the characters in the game right now, but if I turn off auto battle, cancel that, hire all the adventurers, go to edit, and that's weird. Yeah. Okay, so let's say we start a battle over here, and then start another one over here. What just happened there? That definitely just crashed, right? Huh. I don't know why that happened. And there weren't any errors before that, right? No. Okay, let's try that again really fast. Anyway, whatever. My point was just, I think when there are enough battles happening, there's a lot of stuff going on. If I were to just join, let's say, all the battlers, all the adventurers in this battle. Wait, why don't I have the... Huh. Doesn't grant everything. Yeah, and I know this is a little bit messed up, so I'm going to have to put this over here. But you can see there's already a bunch of stuff going on in this one battle. If you had like 4 of these going at once, I think it'd be too much. Full screen related crash? Possibly. There have been a lot of like weird crashes going on. Also, I realized it didn't just pan to the right size, the right area. We have a lot of little things to fix. Could use some panning too, although I'm biased by suggesting it. When you say some panning, you mean you've got several different battles open. Oh, interesting. You can actually see the life drop in that battle. Yeah, so you got several battles open, but you don't have enough space and you want to be able to like scroll this basically. feel like some users would expect that. Yeah, I think they probably would. At least at a screen size like this. At a screen size like this, maybe they would or wouldn't. Don't have or even know how to horizontal scroll. Yeah, but you could just rebind vertical scroll to that because nothing else happens when you vertically scroll over this to begin with. The drag actually wouldn't be too bad. I would need this to all be inside of a scroll container though, which I guess we could mock that up because I already did that at one point. So we get a scroll container going in here. And then this needs to be anchored to bottom wide, 288. All right, so we start 3 battles, we minimize this. So now I can scroll and I can rearrange the battlers. Something, whoa, that something's wrong. Yeah, the warrior is not moving at all. I'm only cycling these 2. But then when I press end, then it, no, it still doesn't cycle these. Now it does work. Okay, something's funky. Take the first and move to here. Is this not correct? Oh, 2 index can be negative. Oh, we can just set this to -1 then. Yeah, that fixed that bug too. So I guess it should have been set to 2 and not 1, or 3 and not 2. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're at a screen like this. You can just scroll to move this left and right. And you can also treat it like it's a carousel, I guess. Yeah, and I think just hiding the scroll bar is probably a good idea now. How do you disable this? Never show. Okay, does that work? It might work, but I didn't launch it from Godot, so I couldn't test it by changing that like that. Yeah. Okay, so we're thinking this is probably the best way of doing things. There'd be arrows, and there'd be an inherent scroll thing, and we'd allow for panning the camera, well, panning, dragging via the mouse. Allow scrolling via mouse drag. Oh man, McCuso, sorry. I am really bad at catching up on YouTube chat, even though there are literally 2 messages. Got any clue how Stardew does its zoom that perfectly scales in spite of being pixel art? So if you're still there, zooming in is fine, because if you think about what's happening when you zoom, it's like you take this 1 pixel and you multiply it by 2 or 3 or 4 or something, and that's totally fine. The problem when you zoom out though is, let's say you take just this block. So I just selected, well, let's select 4 by 4. So I selected 4 pixels by 4 pixels. If I were to shrink this by, let's say I multiply it by 0.5. Now instead of having 16 pixels, I have 8. So it's like, which 8 pixels do you choose? And maybe you end up getting rid of the red pixel, or maybe you average them, or maybe you do something, and it's like that will be a different shape than what you ended up with, what you started with. And it's pretty obvious to see, if you take that to its natural conclusion of like, okay, if I keep zooming out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, you'll eventually have 1 pixel, and you'll eventually have 0 pixels. And it's like, how do you represent something with just 1 pixel? Yeah, maybe some sort of separation of frame between the arena later. Difficult to easily see the difference. Yeah. Definitely need a separation. That's not something I'm worried about right now, but that is something we'll definitely do if the game is in good shape after checkpoint number 3. Okay, so let's look at this in totality and just see, is this is this finally in good shape? Because I haven't completed even, I think, a single task on this gigantic list, but I think we're going in the right direction. So I'm going to just start up the game, and regardless of the window size, we shouldn't see very large black bars, or maybe none ever. Yeah, I don't think we ever see black bars. So yeah, you can play with this in practically any size. This is concerning because this looks bigger than 288 pixels. I guess not. Yeah, I guess it's weird in thin sizes like this because I don't plan on shrinking the battle windows. But I think, what size is this? We don't even plan on accommodating this, right? 984 by 830. Yeah. If someone's trying to play in this size, then too bad. There's that game, what, Rusty's Retirement, I think. This is pretty interesting because the way that they planned on having this game work is that you're doing... Oh, they don't have screenshots of it? Yeah, they do have a screenshot. It's something like this, where the game is always taking up about a third of your screen. And you're supposed to just use your computer while the game is there. That's a kind of cool idea. But, like, yeah, they planned for this to just be the maximum height of the game. Assuming it's at minimum window size in Godot. Yeah, you probably can. I would hope you can, because I definitely need there to be a minimum window size. I don't see anything here. No, yeah, I don't see anything, but there's probably a way to do that. Minimum window size. Oh, there is the thing. Display server window set min size. Oh, neat. And there's an issue to... Oh, and it's closed? What? Fixed. Fixed when? Closing in favor of this as feature proposals are now tracked in proposals. Ah, now it's open. Huh. Seems like a pretty easy thing to do. I'm kind of surprised they don't do it, but at least there's a way to do this. Display server.set. Okay, so let's just put this in town somewhere. Window set min size. And what is it, a vector 2i? Yeah. New vector 2i. 300, 300. I just want to set it and see if it works, that's all. And then if it works, we'll figure out what's a reasonable minimum size to set. So now you shouldn't be able to shrink this beyond 300 by 300. That did not seem to work. That is definitely smaller than 300 by 300. Yeah, 262 by 290. Does this not work? Or are you supposed to do this from a certain place? Sets minimum size for the given window to min size in pixels. Normally the user will not be able to drag the window to make it smaller than the specified size. Recommended to change this value using, oh, min size on the window. Okay, got it. Yeah, so get root or get tree dot root dot min size equals 300, 300. Cannot implicitly convert to a vector 2i. It's still not working. What? Oh my god. All right, I don't know. I'm not super concerned about this part for right now though, because presumably there's some easy enough way to do this. Recommended changes using window.min size. Yeah, I don't know what I could be doing differently here. Unless it's get window.min size. Let's try that. Nothing is working. Maybe it's actually working and there's a 2x scale and that's what's making it seem like it's not. I don't know. I'm going to set it to 600 by 600 though. If this has no effect, then I'm just going to give up on this for now. Oh, it is having an effect. Oh, that's weird. It wasn't even 300 by 300 though. This is 412 by 440. Like clearly it's doing something. But what? Oh. I know what's happening. Yeah, there's the scale factor of 2. So the inside is actually set to 300 by 300. And then there's the window chrome that's adding some amount on top. I'm not sure how we're getting 440 points though. Well, the pixel density is accounted by this thing because this says 880 pixels. Because just the inner part of this window should be 300. Yeah, it is. So then this has to be, yeah, how's it getting 440? I don't get that part. Points are not pixels, yeah, but there should be a 1:2 ratio. So in pixels, it says it's 880 pixels. But then where's the 220 extra pixels coming from? Like, it's not the title bar that's that big. Oh, there's a shadow count? Hang on, if I were to just take a rectangle around this. Oh my God, yeah, the shadow counts. Oh man. All because I took the picture by pressing space instead of by just dragging a rectangle. These are things I don't think about on Windows. Yeah, okay, well now it makes sense. I got it. I just did not think about that. Okay, so then somewhere we have a way of getting the content scale factor. Yeah, this. So what we want to do is in here. Is this a float? Yeah, float. So I'm going to say float scale factor equals this. And int. I don't know what we even want the minimum size to be. Probably just put it in game constants. Yeah. Public const int minimum window width. 1,000. I don't know. Minimum window height 700. So this is going to be game constants dot this times scale factor. And then same thing here. All right, let's run that. There's a no shadow option. It can delete it. Did this work, by the way? Yeah, nice. So this is now the minimum window size. Whatever, sure. Sounds good to me. All right, no shadow option. Where might you be no shadow option? I don't know if this is going to show something private. Engage privacy mode. Because I have a license key in here somewhere. Crop show. Where's the shadow thing? I do not see it. Okay, whatever. I'll figure this out later. There's an option on Mac to change that? Seriously? I gotta look into that. I don't want that shadow there. I'm gonna add this to my to-do list. Figure out how to remove the shadow from screenshots on all of Mac OS. I don't ever want that shadow. Never noticed that they have a shadow until right now. Well, when you take a screenshot, even with just the built-in screenshot taker thing, it adds a shadow around this. And sometimes that's good. Like if you're putting a screenshot on a website, you might actually want that. But a lot of times you're just sharing it on Discord or something, and having that shadow is not helpful. Oh my God. Today is just, I'm like surprisingly excited about all the progress we made, even though I should be incredibly frustrated, but I'm feeling good. I think I was doing something and then just lost my train of thought and got sidetracked 6 times. And yeah, I think what we were doing is trying to see, are we in good shape here? So let's take a look at that again. Oh, trim shadow. Interesting. Okay, yeah. I'll write that down. Thanks, Hideo. All right, I'm gonna give you a point for a combination of that and the carousel suggestion. Okay, so where do we leave off here? We click create instance, create a few instances. We got this. You can now, oh, you can't drag to scroll, but you can scroll to scroll. And you can swap the order of these things, currently only with the keyboard right now. And I think it'd be nice to have them shift, but that might be really hard to do. Wait a sec. Wait a second. Did I just have the window off screen? Please tell me I did. I wouldn't know unless I checked the VOD. But that potion was very, very close to the edge of the screen. Yeah, I think I just had it off screen. Okay. Yeah. Oh, what a day. Oh, thanks, Hideo. Yeah, what a day. We do have one tiny problem that's still left, and that's at certain screen sizes and certain camera positions. I can't get this to happen. Yeah, let's just reload the game. It'll happen. Yeah, at certain positions, you end up with this sign having like an extra little pixel at the top there. It's got a Shift 6 or a hat on top of it. And the only way I could fix this is by setting the sub viewport's pixel snapping to true, which then caused a different issue, which I shall show you right now. Yeah, this. If I turn this on. So now that issue is gone, and now the exclamation mark is really, really jittery because it's getting snapped to pixel positions. So we could change that animation, or we could just, I don't know, deal with the one little thing. Report crash agent, but can I disable it for just Godot? I like it as is. No, it can't stay like that. It does kind of look like it's intentional, like I wanted an earthquake effect. But yeah, it's kind of goofy looking. When you see bleeding sprite screenshot of the sign, you can see pixel size are incorrect. That's a scaling issue. I don't think it's necessarily a scaling issue, because if it were a scaling issue, it wouldn't get fixed by snapping the pixel coordinates. In fact, actually, I feel like there has to be a Godot bug here, in that you shouldn't need this set if you have a sub viewport container. Where did I write that down? Here, yeah. This Godot sub viewport container. I just want the Godot issues. Disable it when launching Godot or something if ever needed. The man report crash page gives it. Command to disable it. Yeah. Man, actually, I wonder if the crash is fixed yet. I have this written down somewhere. Yeah, this. It says it was closed, fixed on May 30th. Wait, what? This issue. Okay. Yeah, which should be fixed by this PR. This PR merged last week. Aha. So then that crash should just stop itself after some time. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll write a note to test this out. See if this PR fixed my constant Godot crashes with C#. Fractional zoom on the camera. But we don't have a fractional zoom. Right? It should just be set to 3. Maybe it is set to something else. I don't know how that's possible. In process, I'll just print out the zoom. There. We can have a fractional zoom. I'm saying I don't have a fractional zoom. Yeah, it's just 3 the whole time. And if there. So the bug is happening and the zoom is set to 3. I start at 3 now that I'm trying to have the new player experience be focused on like building up your town. So that's what I'm saying. I think this is just a bug in Godot. And oh yeah, that's what I was about to look into, is whether that's actually correct. Where is the issue I was just looking at? This. 2D camera viewport rounding error. Does it have a sub viewport container? A 2D camera following an object positioned at a subpixel value of 0.5, position between 0 and half viewport size. I don't fully understand this. Does this even mention sub viewport? Can't snap transforms because everything will shake while moving. Only the exclamation mark shake, right? It shouldn't be anything else that shakes. Let me take a look. Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't see that. Okay, yeah, that's a no-go. Huh. I wonder what we do about this then. Because what is causing that to happen? And actually, if I move the camera, it doesn't necessarily happen. So it means the camera must be at some odd position, although there are many positions that cause this to happen. And for whatever reason, I only see it with that one sign. Why is that the case? Yeah, I don't see any other bleeding happening here. Let's grant a whole bunch of items and stuff. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh, grant items does work. It just puts them over here. Uh-oh, that's not good. I can't drop the item. Oh no. I'm pretty sure I should be able to drop an item, right? Oh, I've thoroughly broken it. I've broken everything. Right click doesn't work. All right, we have 2 issues. That camera bleeding thing, I don't understand. But then characters jitter as they walk in the town. Okay, and then there's another problem that we just encountered, which is right-clicking to drop an item no longer works. I might know how that was broken, and it might be very, very easy to fix, because I've used Godot for long enough now where I recognize this symptom. And it's probably that our scroll container needs to just ignore mouse input. Or this needs to, or something else needs to. Something needs to deal with this. And I don't know what it is. I'm just set them both to ignore. Only happens when you change the window size by a couple pixels. I think so. Yeah. Oh, wait, no. It does happen when you just zoom the camera too. But then seems to just kind of fix itself. Huh. Yeah. Weird. Yeah, I don't think you can get this to show up unless you... Okay, well then, if it's just by changing the window size, maybe there's some function we can call afterward, which will kind of settle everything back to normal. I'll write that down. The guild sign can bleed a bit when you resize the window. Perhaps there's a function we can call, or we can just jitter the camera by a single pixel. Fix it. All right, did I fix the right click problem? No. No, I did not. This is right click. Is this getting hit? Almost certainly not. Nope. Which means something else is consuming this event. Round window size, the nearest tile size, because I see the pixels get scaled. Oh, wow, Hideo, thanks. Getting rid of these free bits courtesy of Twitch surveys. It's very kind of you, Hideo. Have a good rest of your day. Good to see you again. Hope you had a good time hanging out. Hope your meeting eventually ends in a couple days. Round window size, the nearest tile size. Something weird's going on when you move the window or resize the window. I don't think many players are going to do it. And yeah, I see what you're talking about. It is getting scaled in weird ways. And that shouldn't be happening at all. I think something else is going on here. And I don't know what exactly. Because that shouldn't be happening. But I'm still not sure what's causing this one problem, and I wrote enough notes about how to fix this. Yeah, I have a gigantic section here on making elements clickable. It's like the largest section of my notes I have. Something must be consuming the events before it. Okay, let's try this out. Let's follow my notes and see if I actually did something correct. Yeah, moved by a fraction. That's what I think is happening. I don't think it's scaling. I think it's moving it. All right, so we should get mouse motion events. Yes. Wait. No, we're not. That's the zoom happening. Oh, so something is consuming the event. Well, well, well. To turn off visibility of nodes in the editor while the game is running. Eventually, your component should get the events. Okay, easy. Easy peasy. I wrote some good instructions for myself. So we don't get events. And then I go turn stuff off. And we do get events. So let's find out. So it's none of that. It's probably this. It's got to be the scroll container. So I'm going to just turn this off. And it's not that. Well, that's funny. What is it if not for that? Turn this off too. It's not that. What? I thought for sure. Oh, you can't resize this? If I just turn off, what else could I even turn off? The UI? Does the camera have set input as handled? I did add that somewhere. I put it in wherever I put UI end, but I think I only put it in for these. Yeah. The instances manager. And this code shouldn't even be getting hit now, especially because it's no longer visible. right? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna just turn off everything. Try and stop me. It's still not getting hit. What is going on? The camera, maybe? Still no? Huh. I don't even have anything else I can turn off. The keyboard keys are causing this to get hit. Well, that's bizarre. It's very bizarre. I'm going to delete this. Not that I should have to. So strange. Yeah, strange. How am I even dragging the camera? I'm so confused. It wasn't this doing it. Turning off the visibility of nodes doesn't actually work. Sub viewport container was propagating right click to the sub viewport, which I had to stop. I did this. I did this for this game. I'm me. I should be able to figure this out. Yeah, here. If you press mouse right, don't propagate the event. Is this getting hit? It is, but I didn't actually do anything yet. I guess I want to set the breakpoint there. Okay, now let's try it. Yes. It's saying don't propagate it into the container, which then would mean that the town would be able to access it, but it can't because this isn't getting hit. It is. But this is probably a different event. Right mouse button. What? That's this though. False. Oh, because I let go of right click? What? What? Oh, that is just very, very peculiar. This is only for pressed. Pressed is true. And then we get into here and it thinks that it's not pressed. Can't figure this out unless I actually scroll down to here. Oh, wow. What is happening? What could be happening here? I technically have a sub viewport container that's not doing anything right now. So maybe that's the problem. Though I'm not sure how that's the problem. If I set this to ignore, does that change anything? I thought turning off the visibility alone would be enough to do that. Does this work all of a sudden? No. I'm just going to delete this. Instances sub viewport container. Well, this can't be a thing that we call anymore. Camera does call this actually. Camera does, but not for right click it doesn't. Because the camera doesn't handle right click. Oh, no, that didn't fix it. Just calling this code. What? Oh man, what else could be doing this then? I have some incomplete knowledge here about this. The only thing I had written here was this had to do with sub viewports. But this shouldn't be passing it down to the sub viewport that we have here. The scroll container shouldn't be handling this. So I have it set to ignore. I have this set to ignore. I'm gonna just turn this whole thing off. Did you actually make it drop on right click? I think you can only drop it with left click. Yeah, it definitely drops on right click. Because that's a code I have right here. If you press right mouse button, then drop item. And this isn't even being hit. So it's not like drop item has a bug. It's the event isn't even making it here. And I'm printing out the events. And I'm just not getting anything for right click. Left click is working fine. Well, no, it's not. The keyboard's working fine. Those print out. Yeah, right click doesn't. Left click, the scroll wheel. Left click and the scroll wheel are handled by the camera though. And then yeah, mouse motion when it's off of the window entirely is happening. And maybe even, no. Is it doing something with this? No. Yeah, something must be consuming this event. I just can't figure out what. Oh, wait. Oh my God, I forgot about this. This is like the greatest thing. Oh, time to go find out the offending control with this one little trick that I completely forgot until I read this note. Go to Godot, debugger, misc, and see the last click control. Misc. Oh yeah, this is going to tell me everything. You ready? Oh wait, it went away. Last click control is a sub viewport container. Huh. But it can't be. I did turn off that container. Now it's definitely this one that's failing. It's town view / container. Yeah, this. I don't get it though. It literally only has this code in it that says don't handle right click. See this issue. Oh, that was my issue. Okay, what if I delete this code? It wouldn't make any sense why deleting the code would fix this. Yeah, and it's not. Something's like drastically amiss for this to be happening. So it turns out this can be shown just fine. But then it still doesn't work. I didn't change any other. Oh, man. Yeah, we don't even have any other sub viewports. It's literally just this. What if I have this stop handling mouse input? I'm guessing this will fix it, but it'll create a different problem for me. Yeah, if I say ignore here, I'm nearly positive this is going to work. And then we just won't be able to left click anything in the town. Yeah, so now I can't drag the camera, so I can't even get to items. But if I right click, presumably it was printing out right click a bunch of times. Mouse wheel down. It doesn't print out right click, surprisingly. Huh. So what is the last click control then? It's the HBox container? HBox container is this. This has pass set for it. I just have this ignore it too. Control root. That's correct. But then it's not printing out. Why is handle input off in town viewport? Hang on a second. I changed something. Handle input. True, it will mark incoming events as handled by itself. If false, this is done by the first parent viewport. Sub viewport container will automatically set this to false for the viewport contained inside of it. I see. So this is inside of a sub viewport container, so it's set to false. If I try checking it, it probably won't even work. No, it will work, but how did I break this? How did I do this? I don't have any other explanation for this. That's the problem. Like, the viewport container is getting the right click, but there's nothing I can do about it. All right, I turned that off now. So this is the pass. Yeah, now it's the sub viewport container that's getting it. Well, there's another thing we could do here. We could detect in here that you right clicked in the sub viewport container and then just manually call into the town and have it get handled. But what's strange to me is I didn't change anything that should affect this. In fact, you know what? Let's try something. Let's go stash everything I just did. Git stash. Now we should have no changes. Somehow we do. Oh yeah, because they're new files. All right, now let's run this again. And if right click still doesn't work, uh-oh. We need to not have these things show up. Is there a way to do that? Let's just do this. Okay, so we go get items to drop. Aha, right click is working. So it is a change I made. All right, well, that helps. Now we just need to figure out which change it is. I don't know how it's possible. Oh, this didn't work. What's going on here? My code didn't take effect. I can't move the camera. Why can't I move the camera? I had this disabled here, yeah. It's like it didn't build? This is very bizarre. Yeah, this is... something's not working. I'm gonna try this again. Did it print that out? Yes, it did. Yet the camera's still stuck. Oh, you know what I did? I turned off input handling on something, didn't I? And then I never turned it back on. Yeah, filter set to ignore. Pass, I guess. I don't know. I'd be just changing stuff now at this point. I guess I gotta look at the actual changes over here. All right, what do we got? Oh, that shouldn't be this way. There we go. I changed some tiles, which I also did not want to do. But we can just ignore that for right now. Instance slot is brand new. Town is now a control. Town view. Sure, it's been deleted. Mouse filter 2 inside scroll container. That's fine. It should ignore things. Battle placeholder. Huh. I don't see anything wrong. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong. What did I change in here? Whatever. Yeah, the cosmic rays did it. They changed bits on my file system. Is it forcing it to be controlled possibly the issue? Yes, probably. Oh man, I didn't think about that. It could be. Oh my goodness. Yeah, wow. Yep, I fixed it. Points to ski. Okay, so this is really peculiar in that why is it happening that way? All right, so I had this set to stop, but somehow the sub viewport was still getting it. I want to launch this from here so I can set a breakpoint. I definitely don't understand that. Sub viewport container. Yeah, here. We somehow still got this. How? Yeah, how does this get hit if the mouse input is getting stopped at the parent? Oh, weird. Turn off visibility of nodes directly in the editor. Eventually your component should get the events, meaning you found the offending node. If you haven't, it's possible that a parent node has a mouse filter set to stop. Well, a parent control. In which case, try changing parents to be pass. Changing ancestors mouse filters to pass. Yeah. Yeah, wow. Use debugger misc to figure out which component is being clicked. Okay. I was just about to ask you to fix this bug. Is it because the node's lower on the list, get the input first? I hate that issue with notifications. I don't fully recall. It's all laid out on this page. Yeah, I would need to read through this. Yeah, I think nodes lower on the list do get it first. Yeah. But then, oh man, why doesn't it? It doesn't make sense though that, like, I had this structure and 4 was definitely getting the input, but 6 wasn't. And 7 had it set to ignore. Like, why didn't 6 get the input? Oh, because 7, 8, 9. I knew it. All right, well, at least we figured it out. Oh, no, it's broken again. I probably turned this off, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Yeah. Just it's back to back. Oh, man. What a day. What a day. Oh. Well, I'm feeling good. We have a lot of work to clean everything up. It's probably going to have to happen on Friday. All right, well, this is done. How do I X out of this? Cancel. Yeah. So I can click this. Ooh. Yeah. So here was the crowning achievement of today was being able to. Uh-oh. Oh, I turned off mouse input. Oh my God, you can't turn off mouse input on a scroll container. It was set to stop originally, right? No, it's set to pass originally. All right, crowning achievement for today was being able to scroll these battle windows and actually swap the order of them as well, which is only really obvious when you have the end screens there. So yeah, I can swap back and forth. So this is like a carousel view now. We just need to get dragging to work. And then we need to fix like 400 other issues, but that's going to have to happen at a different time, I think. Man, just what a, man, game development. Am I right? Am I right? Oh. A lot of time was spent trying to figure out how to lay out battles in such a way that they can all show without needing to be resized. Man. All right. Yeah. Time-wise, what are we looking at here? Yeah, I streamed for 6 hours today. I think that's pretty good. Doesn't look like any work into it. I'll link to your bots. Oh, man. The thing is, it is pretty easy to look at a game and be like, oh, yeah, this is simple. I could make this. And there are two components to that. One is underestimating, but two is a lot of work that goes into a game is work figuring out how to get to what you see on the screen. So it's like, imagine Tetris. Coming up with Tetris is way harder than making Tetris at this point. Like, the idea itself was just true inspiration striking whoever created it a long time ago. But now that you see it and you understand how the game works, it's like, okay, yeah, I can figure out how to rotate pieces and put them down and clear lines, and that's it. That's Tetris. And I think it's the same thing with a lot of games that exist nowadays. And what's kind of sad, not for gamers, but for companies, I guess, is that a game does well and then all of a sudden everybody copies it. Because the work that went into coming up with the idea is now done for the world. The idea's out there. And something happened recently. I read an article that said something like, oh, what are the names of these games? Valve just released a hero shooter that I haven't played and wasn't like, actually maybe it hasn't fully launched yet. I don't remember the name of it. Anyway, it had like, yeah, Deadlock. Deadlock had like 64,000 concurrent players. Meanwhile, some Sony game, which I also don't remember the name of, had like 800 concurrent players, or some like really low number for how much it should have had. And there's some other Marvel hero shooter that's out now, and I guess that's doing pretty well. Like Concord, yeah, that's it. Thank you. And all of that even came about from, I would say, Overwatch. I know Overwatch wasn't the first team-based hero shooter, but I think it was the first one that did like shockingly well. Maybe Team Fortress 2 was. Anyway, same thing happened with pretty much everything else you see, right? Minecraft. Think of how many Minecraft competitors are out there right now. Minecraft clones. There is something like Fortress Craft. Best Minecraft clones ranked. This says Terraria and Dragon Quest Builders. It's not really. Okay, well, anyway, there's a lot of them out there. Am I thinking of this correctly? Is Fortress Craft actually a thing? Fortress Craft Evolved. Yeah. Yeah, this is basically Minecraft. And then same thing with all the Vampire Survivors clones. There are like a million of these now. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is I think the amount of work that goes into a game, definitely people do underestimate it. But then when someone tries to make a game again in, yeah, like you just said, a week, it's like, oh yeah, I guess there wasn't a lot of work that went into this. And it's like, no, there still was. I would have just thought that was Minecraft mod based on the screenshots. Yeah, Deadlock is very good. I think a game would have to be to get 64,000 concurrent players. I'd like to try it at some point, but Risk of Rain 2 just came out with a, I guess, DLC. And this is a little bit frustrating because, what's it called? Seekers of the Storm? Is that it? Yeah. There are mixed reviews. I guess Gearbox took over and they just don't have the level of polish and kind of care put into the game that people would have expected. That's kind of sad. I want to play that though. And then other games, I've just been craving some D2 lately, Diablo 2. And I bought Super Mario Wonder a while ago. And I played just a little bit with my wife and then never really finished it. And Pikmin 4, I haven't finished. And of course, Nanogram's Katana. Written in Java originally. Yeah. And crazy to know that voxel engine was worth $2.5 billion. It's been pretty good. Most of the bugs are not that bad. Okay, well, I'll try to give it an honest shot. And seeing whatever 3 new characters, people said that was pretty cool too. They said the items were kind of a letdown. Only thing keeping you from playing Deadlock the next few days. Are you going to 100% the DLC? I feel like you have to. Also, did they get the same composer? I think it was the Greek guy. I forgot his name. Roar 2 composer. His music is fantastic. Yeah, this person, which I assume that's Greek. Yeah, Greek. Okay. Hey, Ender. Chris is still doing the music? Okay. For whatever reason, I thought I read somewhere that he had decided to step away. So it's good that he's still doing the music. Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. Oh, man. What a day. All right. I should go find someone to raid. I just want to sort of unwind for a little bit. New music is fantastic. I would expect nothing less. All right, we're going to get back in the swing of streaming, though. Man, I do not like finding somebody to raid. It'd be nice if there was a view that just said, here are people you haven't raided before who meet certain criteria you have. Thanks for the body double getting me back into being productive. Yeah, I'm happy to be back. And I think we'll pick up some momentum in a bit. Unfortunately, I do think a lot of what we've been doing here is going to be the experience for the last quarter of this year, which is just struggling through like one problem at a time, not making a ton of progress. Okay, I'm giving up on finding somebody new to host. Let's raid somebody old. All right, let's raid this person. I've probably raided them before. I must have raided them before. Oh yeah, I have. I remember this person. Now that I'm seeing their game. All right, thank you all for watching. It's been good to be back. I'll be streaming again on Friday. And then starting next week is going to be a bunch of the other people segments that we're going to be doing. Mentoring, interviews, and a UI UX session. So thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching. See you on Friday. Have a good rest of your day.